These gates continue to show the secrets that lie behind. Even in the midst of a Halloween week, we have learned so much about these characters and they've gotten all up in each other's business. Let's talk about it. We've seen quite a few tears from Eva in the past few weeks, but this was some that was warranted. The fact that Ted had this beautiful breakfast with Eva and he was able to tell her that he wants her to call him dad. Very cute moment. I think it was very healing for Eva to hear that from him. But could this be a bit of foreshadowing? I've been barking from the very beginning that we've accepted the fact that Eva is Ted's daughter based off of the paperwork that Dana Leslie decided to fling in front of every person's face that was open to look, whether they liked it or not. I would like to see a DNA test with these two, both knowing that they're taking the test and seeing what the results are, because we know that this is a soap opera. And Dana has been pushing the fact that Eva has a right to Ted's estate from episode one. The fact that she is his daughter for sure. But we still don't know that much about Leslie, nor her background, nor what was going on when she got pregnant. And the fact that Ted is finally conceding to adding Eva to the Richardson clan, I think it's of note for us to ask, is Eva really part of the dynasty? Now, in most dramatic cases, we usually get the truth because someone needs some type of medical assistance from a family member or a blood match. So, hopefully, we don't have to wait for someone's medical emergency to get the real, but I would like to see a real DNA test between these two, especially with the fact that they're getting so close. I would hate for either one of them to get hurt based off of the fact that she's not actually his daughter. Well, Nicole has put an official pause on her and Carlton's relationship after he showed his entire butt in the hospital with Ted. My eyes were as big as Shanice's watching these two go back and forth over Nicole. I mean, my goodness. But Ted had a very valid point. Okay. Carlton, I've been barking this from the very beginning. Carlton has been there through everything. The fact that Ted said that he's even joked with and to Nicole about Carlton's little crush on her throughout their marriage shows that Carlton hasn't even been that gracious when it comes to showing his crush. He really has just been waiting around the corner for Ted to mess up to the point where Nicole was fully over him. A lot of people are asking, did Carlton know that Ted was having an affair with Leslie when he was in real time? And honestly, I think he did know. I think that Carlton has been stacking up his cards against Ted and just waiting for the perfect moment for the entire card house to fall. Of course, he wouldn't be the one to blow the whistle because he wants to look like the hero to Nicole. And if he was the one to tell Nicole that Ted was the one that was stepping out, then he would just look like a whistleblower and not a good friend to Ted. So he definitely waited his turn until things turned in his favor, which still shows that he was never a real friend to either one of them. I am glad that Nicole put the pause on Carlton, and hopefully it's definite, okay? Because Vernon being on Carlton's side is completely wild. But there's nothing that Carlton can do to make Nicole progress in her life, okay? If she's gonna move on with someone else, it needs to be someone else, not Carlton. And from her actions, we see that she is indeed still in love with Ted. The way that Ted and Nicole talk about the night of Martin and Smitty's renewing of their vows, that night when she goes to his hotel room, they both understand that if it wasn't for that fire alarm, then they probably would have ended up in bed and maybe even be back together today. So the question is, will this come back up? Now that Ted and Leslie are buddies again, which is awful, it's so annoying that every time Ted seems to get slightly back into Nicole's good graces, she happens to walk up on them hugging each other and being chummy again. It's not Ted's fault completely, seeing as Leslie loves to pop up in every place that he's at, whether it's his job, his home, the hotel, the club, whatever. It is annoying that Ted will not fully close that door. Yes, you can be parents to Eva. You can both be co parents to Eva for sure. But that does not mean that you have to be friends. And I need Ted to understand that Leslie does not understand what those lines are. Him saying that they can be friends again and him seeing the old Dana in her, the one that was nice and loving to him when he needed it, does not show as an olive branch between them. For her, it shows an open door, a moment of opportunity. She even said that to her bestie, Ashley's mom, when they were having lunch, and basically showing, like, oh, there's a ray of hope again for them to be together. And there shouldn't be. That's your problem, Ted. That's why Nicole is still having problems even thinking about going back to you, because you constantly show that you are cool with the ops. Yes, Dana Leslie will forever be an op. And even if Nicole fully gets over it and goes back to Ted, she'll never be fully into the relationship until she knows that that door is closed. And you have to remember that he messed up and slept with Leslie recently. So that may as well have reset the clock on Nicole's anger towards Ted with these two. And he needs to be very strategic with every move that he does with Leslie in public. Because whether it's Nicole around the corner, Eva around the corner, Kat around the corner, somebody's around the corner watching. And every time he shows that they're cool, it's a step backwards from being back into his marriage with Nicole. These sisters continue to be at each other's throats, but this time it's Kat that won't let it go. Now that we have Isaiah in the picture, this was a perfect opportunity for Kat to show that Eva has no hold on her emotions, thoughts, whatever. She could have very well conceded to them speaking and just moved on. But the fact that she has dedicated herself to bad mouthing Eva every time Isaiah is in front of her shows that Kat is still just as upset as she was in the beginning. I hate seeing this for Kat. Her suspicions in the beginning, yes, were needed and warranted. And it's understandable for her to have her guard up with Eva, even now. But that is now between you and Eva. You should be happy with the fact that she is trying to get over Tomas. She's showing that she's not her mother because she's accepted the fact that Tomas does not want her. Tomas has chosen Kat. So this is the time to leave Eva alone. Okay? It's only going to backfire on you worse, Kat, if you continue to try to pit people against Eva. People's true colors are going to come out regardless, right? So if Kat didn't say anything to Isaiah, he was going to find out about her past regardless. And it's still up to him to choose whether he wants to deal with Eva or not. And I love the fact that Chelsea keeps Kat in her place, because when Chelsea found out that they were sitting in Uptown waiting for Isaiah to just pass by so that Kat could badmouth Eva again, she called her out on it because it's messed up and it's too much. They are both grown, okay? Let them make their own decisions and you go home and worry about your man. Now, even though Eva is trying to move on, she seems to constantly attract men that are still in love with their exes. There is a character, Isaiah's ex, who is named Yolanda, that we have yet to meet, but I do believe we're going to meet her soon because he is still very much stuck on her. Even though she sends all of these text messages and says, hey, we're done, she's not answering the phone. She sent a text to him saying, please take that job. There's no reason for you to come back. He is still obviously set on her. So Eva getting with him would be detrimental to her once again because she is not his choice, but his rebound. I did think that them as a couple would go well, and I still do. I think that they match quite well. But in order for this to be something real, Eva has to be real with herself. Her constantly saying, "Oh, well, we don't have to be anything crazy. I'll be your friend," is not the truth. And you know it, girl. You deserve to say, actually, I'm looking for somebody that wants a relationship in the way that I do. And that's fine. Hopefully, in the midst of this friendship, she is keeping herself guarded, but obviously, she's still not asking the right questions. The fact that it took Tomas to tell her that Isaiah is Jacob's brother, girl, how could you not know that? You have met with this man multiple times. Y'all have kiki for hours, and you didn't even ask this man his last name. I need for you to do better. Now that Isaiah Hawthorne is close to the family again, it's definitely bringing up some old wounds. It was interesting for him to say that Jacob has always been the golden boy with Chief Hawthorne, and to see them disagree is refreshing because it's like Jacob has finally opened his eyes to see who Chief Hawthorne really is. It's kind of sad to hear that from someone's child, right? Because you want your children to see you as the best that you could be, right? But it's obvious that Chief Hawthorne has had issues with his sons from the very beginning, right? We've also learned that there is a third Hawthorne, okay? Luke Hawthorne, who we have yet to meet, seems to be the middle child or maybe the older one. I'm still not very sure. We know that Isaiah is the baby, but Luke may be the older or the middle, as opposed to Jacob being the older or middle. So we'll have to wait and see. I do think that we'll eventually meet Luke, but he went down the same road as Jacob when it came to following in daddy's footsteps, right? So that's obviously the issue between Chief Hawthorne and his son Isaiah. But we also learned that Isaiah used to really be a little bad boy, okay? To the point where he got a record. And who was the one to clear his name? That's right. Officer Malone. Oh my goodness. This man continues to have roots throughout this police department that is going to be a problem for everybody. I thought that Malone was just, a dirty cop that was ready to get his money and get out. But apparently, he's been the one to carry out everyone's dirty work behind the desk. So he's definitely going to be a problem moving forward. Now, it seems that little Miss Samantha has lost her mind. Okay. She was caught on the couch with her little boo. That's right. And on the couch. Okay. Not even in her room. She is in the living room on the couch about to get it on with this young man when Martin and Smitty walk in. Thank God. Okay. Thank God they walked in because who knows how far they would have gone. Oh, we do because that condom was ready and willing. Okay. And unfortunately, he's not even a good guy. The fact that he was going toe to toe with Terrell in Orphe jeans shows that Terrell is one, a great brother, but also this boy is bad news and he's not going to do anything but break little Samantha's heart. The crazy part about it is nobody really knows what to do with her, but I know who would. That's right. I definitely think June will be the one to rectify this situation, seeing as Samantha is her daughter, right? Martin and Smitty have definitely raised the kids in an amazing way, but the way that Samantha is the one to initiate all of this with this boy definitely gives me reason to think that she's becoming a baby June. And June even saw it when she was in Orphe Jeans and that boy came and sat with Samantha. First of all, that boy had no manners. Ugh. She tried to tell her, even then, like, why are you going for this boy? I don't understand. You're beautiful, you're articulate, you're smart. And this boy obviously has no respect for you. And he's showing that he doesn't have respect for other people either. But Samantha really just doesn't care. She really just wants to get it on. Now, her hearing the conversation between Kat and Chelsea about their sex lives means nothing. Okay. And I'm going to need for Martin to calm all the way down. Samantha could hear anybody talking about their sexcapades and be inspired, right? They weren't talking to her. She was eavesdropping. She was around them and they were having the conversation. But at the end of the day, the seed was already there. She already wanted to be intimate with this boy. So I think the best route is for them to let June be real with Samantha about her past. June is going to have to really open up and talk about their father, a man that she was with before their father. Who knows? But it's giving their father is exactly the boy that Samantha is trying to get with. And she's attracted to him. She doesn't know why. Yeah, she wants to be grown, but she doesn't have a real reason as to why she wants to be with that boy. And I think the only person that can really help her find her way through this, yes, Nicole is an amazing grandmother and therapist, but it will be June to be the one to talk to her and say, hey, girl, I know what you're going through. I know what you're thinking. This is what the outcome will be. Listen to me, please. Now that the Dupree estate is in the process of planning the winter festival, right? Which I love. I love that we're creeping into Christmas season. And now we're seeing all of the benefits that the Dupree family continues to show, right? So they're planning this benefit, and Anita is talking about how she wants to showcase how a lot of musicians and artists do not have access to mental health, with a nod to Barbara. Now that it is out in the open, what happened with Barbara and the Articulates, she wants to hone in more on helping people that may be going through the same things that Barbara was going through when they were younger. I love that it happened to be Laura that brings up the fact that if we incorporate Barbara into this process, Leslie will elbow her way in. Okay. That is exactly what she does. And now that it is justified that Leslie is Barbara's biological daughter, it is going to be a problem, and she is going to want to be a part of it, if not fully involved. And that's a no go. Okay. Leslie does not know how to work well with others. This is a planned event that is from the Dupree estate, right? So it's not going to go well with her trying to incorporate herself. I think Anita definitely has some things up her sleeve when it comes to dealing with Leslie and the Articulates. But I'm excited with the fact that now the Articulates are going to be privy to all of this information. They have not met Leslie yet, and they don't even know that Leslie is Barbara's daughter from what we've known, right? They haven't had the full conversation. So I definitely think this is going to be the open door to all of the questions that we've been asking when it comes to, is Dante Green, their previous manager, Leslie's biological father? Is Barbara really gone? Who knows what this will uncover, but I am ready for it. Now, I'm a tad bit confused. The week before last, Haley was gung ho set on getting rid of Bill, right? She had that vial and she was putting it in any liquid that she can get it into that would get down his throat. But this week, I haven't seen the vial at all. She hasn't tried to make him drink anything. And now she's even leaning more towards them being a couple. Let me fill you in, okay? Bill comes in the room. Haley is just looking at some things on her laptop that she closes. Oh, Bill, I didn't know you were behind me. Right? Mm-hmm. Turns out that she wants to vacation in St. Bart's, but then she throws in the fact that, oh, it's too late to rent and everything is too expensive. So then Mr. Big Bill, Big Billy Goat, says, oh, I'm rich. Let's buy the house. We don't have to rent it. Let's buy a house. And he literally buys a house in St. Bart's for their getaway house, right? And even deeper, he puts it in her name. He says, oh, this is a great start to your investment properties, babe. I'm just happy to be here with you. What? Bill, where is all of this trust coming from? I'm really confused, okay? We don't know squat about this girl. We don't know her. Are her parents gone? What is the backstory that Bill knows about this girl? That's what I want to know. Because the fact that he's just so fully trusting and open to whatever she says really blows me. She has fully ingrained in his brain that he is the only lifeline that she has in the world. And he's just soaking that all up. When really, Randy is her cousin. That doctor was definitely part of the family. And who knows where her parents are? Does she have siblings? I don't know. I don't know. But the fact that he's so fully trusting of her is just mind blowing to me. And I think that this is just her way of setting herself up even more. She's like, oh, he was ready to put money in that kids fund. Let's see how much money he'll spend before I actually put him in the ground. Now, these two getting together was definitely not on my bingo card of 2025, but apparently y'all have been waiting and now it's here. Okay. Leslie's attempt at befriending Haley in the country club was definitely a seed that she's planted, right? Of course, Haley had to play the whole, I would never, my husband hates you. I would never go against him, right? She played the role well. She even kind of convinced Danny and Nicole, who were also watching in the club, that she would not go this route of befriending Leslie, right? But when she gets home to Bill, she tells him everything, which is a bit confusing, right? Because why would you even put that much energy into it? You know that Leslie's not going to do anything. At least we think that she won't. So why even involve Bill at this point? Hmm. It's giving alibi, right? I'm thinking that Haley still has a full plan to get rid of Bill, and someone has to take the fall, right? Who but the most hated woman in Fairmont Crest? The one that's hated even a tad more than Haley. But I think she's underestimating how smart Leslie really is. When your enemies become besties, that definitely means it's time to suit up because there's a war coming. And I don't trust either one of them. Chelsea has yet to mind her business, and now her and Madison are not in a good place. I cannot believe that Chelsea actually went and reached out to Madison's mother. How messed up is that? You're supposed to be on Madison's side. And I'm so glad that Kat told her that she's messing up. Okay. Chelsea, I need you to understand that you can't be the fixer of everything. This shows her father's side, right? He's the fixer, and she decides that she needs to be the fixer between Madison and her mother, but that is not the case. It does show the crossing of boundaries. And the fact that Madison actually went to her therapist slash Nicole to talk about her frustration and anger with Chelsea shows that this is real. This is a real problem. So hopefully Chelsea understands that she needs to take her girl side in any scenario and take a step back from trying to be besties with her mom and connect them together, and just understands that Madison just needs her support. Whatever's going on with these two is just downright creepy. Okay. Who opens the door backwards every time? Nobody does that. You don't open your front door backwards. You see what's going on when you open the door. And apparently, Ashley keeps missing every time he tries to lift himself out of that chair. Whatever. Okay. Apparently, she's going to catch him this coming week. But oh, they get on my nerves. Okay. They really do. Even the cheesy fact that he made her wear a bride's outfit while he was in a groom suit. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. And that's why she almost had a panic attack at that coffee shop when they were in front of Andre, because she understands that this is not what she wants. Even when Andre was confused as to how they chosen Spain for their honeymoon instead of Paris, it kind of makes sense to me because Paris was her thing with Andre. So why would she want to do that with Derek, right? She's trying to do everything the opposite with Derek to keep his insecurities at bay when it comes to Andre. But it also shows that she's once again not doing what she wants to make Derek comfortable, which was one of the biggest reasons why she left him in the first place. This is just the constant foreshadowing of the fact that they're not going to work. Okay. Derek's nasty attitude towards Andre, constantly asking him, well, what would you do if you and Danny don't work out? Because he's still so scared that the moment Andre is over Danny, that he's going to swoop in and snatch Ashley, is just completely crazy. Okay. She has chosen Derek over Andre time and time again. That is the only reason why Andre ended up with Danny in the first place. So, Derek, one, please calm down, because at least you know that she's chosen you over Andre multiple times. But that's not going to be the case if you keep playing victim to Andre. It's annoying. Oh my gosh, his insecurities are just the worst. And it's going to be the death of this relationship. That, or the fact that she finds out that he can actually walk again and she gets bored with him once again. Because she only got back with him because she felt she had to take care of him for the rest of their lives. Right? Now, I do have to say that I'm a tad bit disappointed in the Halloween episode. I do love Halloween episodes on shows because it gives them chances to do crazy things, right? They could have done a doppelganger episode. They could have done a what if episode. They could have done a Twilight Zone episode where everybody was mixed and matched, where Andre actually did end up with Ashley, and Danny did end up going back to Bill, and Haley is now in the wind. Like, there could have been so many things. We could have done a full flashback episode, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I am looking forward to the holiday season. I'm hoping that the Thanksgiving episode is a bit more juicy, the Christmas episode. I do want them to incorporate a little more background, right? We've got a lot of characters now that are solidified. So now we can start digging, okay? We've got the cast, we've got the storyline. Let's just dig a little deeper, have some deeper conversations, and hopefully get to the root of a lot of these storylines, right? I am really enjoying watching the show and talking to you guys in the comments. Hit me in the comments. Let me know how you felt about this past week. What do you think they could have done for the Halloween episode? What would you have been looking for? What storyline would have been cool for that, right? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share to your friends and your girlies and your guys when you're talking about Beyond the Gates. Make sure you add me to the conversation, and I'll meet you here every week. Beyond the Gates.